guys, it's Ahmer here. So today we're going to talk about a pretty cool video game store and everything that I picked up while I was there, while I was on vacation. So this place is called Game On Videogames and More. This place is located in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So let's go ahead and check it out. So this place was actually pretty cool. It had a decent variety of games there, and one of the things that I actually loved the most was all of the video game kiosks, the store displays, the neon signs, and just every other cool little promotional item that they had showcased all around the store, and especially in those front windows. So this place is called Game On Videogames and More. It's located in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and I was definitely thrilled when I saw this place. I didn't know that it existed. This was my very first time there. I actually was in the area trying to hit up some vintage toy stores while I was there. So make sure you guys stay tuned because I will have tons of videos from vacation. I scored so much cool stuff and I just had so much fun in a lot of the arcades in Ocean City, Maryland and the Delaware area. So make sure you guys stay subscribed, stay tuned for more. And of course, we'll get back to Game On Video Games and More. So this place, I recently saw on my phone. I was just kind of scrolling through the area, and this place actually looked pretty cool. I saw that they opened up within the past year or so, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if this place was going to have a lot of stuff, just a little bit of stuff. But of course, as I was walking up, the hype was real because I saw in the windows they had this World of Nintendo sign. They had this PlayStation 2 neon sign. They had some other neons on the other side, like Xbox 360 related. And they just had so many cool cardboard displays, cardboard standees. They had this really cool Star Fox one. I've seen some amazing standees over the years, and this place just had them all jam-packed right in the front window, trying to draw you into this location. And some of the favorites that I saw were actually this Donkey Kong Country 2 that they had for the Game Boy Advance. That was on the front counter, so that was actually probably one of my favorite little standees that I saw in there, just those counter displays. So of course, when I walked into the store, I noticed that they have this little counter area that had tons of the cartridge style games, the little ones. We had tons of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games. And then behind the counter, I noticed that there were some obscure system games. We had the Neo Geo CD, we had some other Dreamcast games. Some of the more expensive games even had a really cool complete in-box copy of Donkey Kong Country with the little player's choice guide that you could get from Nintendo Power. So they just had some really cool items back there. And then as I walked around, I saw that a lot of the areas were kind of designated by different systems. So of course they had this massive PlayStation 2 wall. They even had a PlayStation 2 kiosk. It had the Guitar Hero guitar on there. They had a little arcade cabinet that they kind of pushed together to make some sort of Xbox style kiosk. So that was pretty cool to see. And then they even had this huge massive PlayStation 3 kiosk where it has multiple sides where you can see the Blu-rays on one side, and then of course you have the games on the other. So that one was pretty cool, just seeing that one, how massive it is. And then they even had an original Xbox kiosk, and it was the different version than mine, not the one with that huge bass sound that kind of echoes through whenever you play, but it did have a lot of green on it, and it was just so cool to see. Then of course we were playing some SSX Tricky on that kiosk. They had an Xbox section, they had a Wii section, they had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega CD games. They just had a really decent variety of everything ranging from PlayStation to Xbox to Nintendo and just kind of all in between. So I thought that that was pretty cool, and I did actually score tons of games while I was there. So first up, I actually saw this game over in the Nintendo section. This is one that I just did not have. It says right here we have this little military style game for the Nintendo. This one was definitely like an arcade style game. So this is one that I just didn't have, a little bit more of an inexpensive style game. in decent shape, so I thought that this one was pretty cool to add to the game collection. So I went over into their Wii section, and I was looking for some particular style games. I saw a couple that I didn't have that I've been wanting to try out. One in particular was Wacky Races, Crash and Dash. So I thought that this one looked pretty cool. I know that I've played this similar style franchise on the Dreamcast. I had a lot of fun playing that. So this one, we have the game disc, we have the manual, everything looks to be in pretty decent shape. So this is actually pretty cool that I was able to find this one, this little 4-player racing style game. So I thought this one would be pretty neat. Then I was looking for some light gun style games. So here we have this Martian Panic. So this is one that I did not have. I do have another video on all of my light gun games, the top 10 or so that they have on the Nintendo Wii, and that one is such a great video. If you guys have not seen that, you guys should definitely check it out, especially if you're going for a full set of those style games. So here we have a couple of the lesser known titles, the ones that just aren't as expensive. So Martian Panic, it says compatible with the Wii Zapper. So it says 8 levels packed with vivid graphics and intense action. Battle the relentless invaders with up to 4 players. So this one actually looks like a lot of fun. And then of course we have some Chicken Blaster. They do have a couple different style games of these. So it says 6 different weapons, including a shotgun, machine gun, and fireworks. 4 crazy chicken bosses to fight. And multiplayer mayhem, 2 players can shoot head to head. So this one also looks pretty cool. So all of these were actually complete. So I was definitely excited for that. And then of course I found another light gun style game, but I actually found it on the PlayStation 3. So this one is The Shoot. So this is another one that I did not have. It says PlayStation move required, ready, aim, action. So this one kind of has a different style gameplay to it, just a little bit different, and it has everything included in here. It even has one of those reversible covers, so you can see all of the different characters here. So this is actually pretty cool. And this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to trying out, as I have been on one of those light gun kicks for a little while. And then I saw this game behind the counter. This is one that I did not have for the Neo Geo CD. So here we have the King of Fighters 95. So this one is complete. Definitely excited to add this one to the game collection, as I don't really have very many of these Neo Geo CD games, and I don't have a lot of Neo Geo ones. So I just love these fighting style games. Definitely pretty sweet to see there, and definitely one that's very uncommon, especially in a lot of my local game stores. So this one was pretty cool to find. Then they had this little section where everything was very inexpensive. So I picked up this Atari Force 2 little comic style book. So I thought that this was pretty cool to add to the game collection. I'm not sure if I have this one already, but I figured that this one was definitely pretty cool. And I figured I'd just add it to the game collection, kind of put it in my little retro corner over there. And it even says Volume 1, Number 2. And of course it says 1982 Atari. So this is pretty sweet. And then these games, so these are actually in a different language, and they have these pretty cool little cheap cases. These are kind of like these little cardboard cases, and you have these games kind of printed. I'm sure that a lot of these are censored, as a lot are in other countries. So I was just very interested in this to see kind of what they were, and kind of just to have them and show them off in the game collection. Just something different. So of course we have this one, Need for Speed Undercover for the PlayStation 2, and then we have Sniper Elite for the PlayStation 2. So I'm just very curious on these, and these are definitely pretty interesting and odd things that you just don't see every day, so I had to pick them up. And then they even threw in this really awesome poster. So I was looking for some promotional items that obviously would be for sale or just something that they had. So this right here, we have some Assassin's Creed. We have this pretty cool poster right here. And this one's actually a elongated poster. So this horizontal style poster for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then we actually have this image on the back here. So I thought that this was pretty cool, something that would be pretty neat to get hung up eventually, get it into some sort of frame. Just kind of have it on display somewhere in the game room. And then next up we have this impulse buy. This was something that I saw kind of closer to the end, and I definitely needed to know more about it. So this right here, I was able to make a deal on. We have this pretty awesome Freestyler board. This is made by THRUSTMASTER. So this is just a huge, bulky style controller, and this is just so cool. It's for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. So this has this little board with 2 programmable buttons to customize your gameplay. It has this tilt sensor in there for left and right moves, provides the sensation of real movement, supports up to a certain number of pounds, and there's also a handy slot to use a PlayStation controller instead of the hand controller, which is provided. So this one has all of these different buttons on here. There's a D-pad, there's your classic X, square, triangle, and circle buttons, DualShock compatible. There's some jump buttons on here. So this thing is just so massive, and I definitely had to add it to the collection as the board was in pretty decent shape. The box is in alright shape, but I figured that this would be something that maybe I could try out. Definitely try and get some gameplay on this and just kind of see what this thing is worth and just see how it plays. So definitely pretty excited for this. So overall, if you guys are ever in the area of Rehoboth Beach and you're on vacation like I was and you just want to check out some sort of video game store or some sort of toy stores or everything else, make sure you guys stay tuned for some more of my videos, as I will be recapping kind of everything that I experienced while on vacation. And this place, Game On, Videogames and More in Rehoboth Beach, was pretty awesome. Just going to see all of those awesome store displays, the kiosks, the standees, the neon signs, and everything else is just pretty cool. They had some really awesome promotional items, some press kits for God of War, for the PlayStation 2, and just some other pretty cool items just scattered all throughout the top of the store in the front little vestibule areas where you just kind of walk through, and that World of Nintendo sign, definitely pretty sweet. So that place was pretty awesome. They had a range of games as well. I just had a blast. I found some really cool items that I'm very excited to try out. So just let me know in the comments below which item you liked the most out of this entire pickup. Did you like this crazy Freestyler board? This massive piece right here for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2? Did you like some of these Wii games that I picked up? Or even some of the light gun games that I scored? Or even this one right here, probably my favorite, the King of Fighters 95 for the Neo Geo CD. So of course, just let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more.